Welcome to the podcast. On my podcast today is a artist named Matthew Moore. Peace, brethren. How are you?
I'm good. And since we're just learning about each other, I'm actually an art dealer. So
Art dealer. Okay.
I represent tons of different artists, both locally and internationally. So I'm more on the sales end, creative direction,
Aha.
and making sure they can actually have a career in art. So
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Did you recently do some work with the Swiss Hotel?
Yeah, we did. So my company, ARTIST Replete, it works with Accor. It's ACCOR. It's like they own the Sofitel, Swiss Hotel. They own like a ton of hotels in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
We have been doing work for Sofitel since about 2019, which is in the Gold Coast. We've been like basically doing murals on the front of that hotel, and then a few times inside. We've been doing that as well. And that company owns Swiss Hotel. So Swiss Hotel saw all the amazing work that we were doing at Sofitel over the years and was like, hey, we want to like get in on this too. We want some work done. So yeah, we did a permanent installation. It was pretty simple. It was like Chicago skyline. And it's just like a permanent installation. I think it was like about 80 feet wide by 20 feet high. So it'll just be there kind of pretty much like on view for, for as long as they want. So
Awesome. Awesome. That's how I found out about you.
cool.
So I work there. I work at Swiss Hotel.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. So you may have seen some of the stuff at like the entrance when you come in and out, like on the glass. Yeah,
That's correct. That's
yeah,
correct.
that was the first time we started working with them. We did the entrance stuff and then we did that big one downstairs. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah, and then when I say we, I mean I'll kind of do like concept, like what could it be, kind of give the artist like ideas and directions just to speed up the project because he could have something and then it might not be good for the company. They might have a different vision. And it just like it creates too many cooks in the kitchen when it's an artist, a dealer, the hotel. So the artist just wants everything simplified, kind of have like a rough idea what to go through. I pass it to him, he execute, and then we kind of go from there. So that's kind of the business model.
Okay, okay, so take me back to some early beginnings. Are you from Chicago? Where are you from originally?
So that is like the toughest question when people ask me. So I'll kind of give you like a real fast elevator pitch on that.
Okay.
I was born in Seattle, but I was only there for about 6 months, and then from there we moved to my family moved to Western Massachusetts. I was there until about till high school. My parents they split like my senior year of high school, and I didn't really know where to live because they sold their house, and there was just so much. There's a lot of drama in the family, where to the point where college was kind of almost like out of the question for me. Like I had to just fund that for myself if I was doing it, and I was not in a good place at that time. So anyway, I moved to Michigan after senior year of high school, like 18, 19. I tried that out for a little bit. I'm not really feeling it. My brother, he owns a restaurant. Oh, well, he's actually my corporate chef now, but he owns a
Mm,
restaurant in Alaska. I go to Alaska for a year, and then I come back down to Michigan because I can't handle Alaska. And I'm like, man, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta do something in my life. So about 21, 22 years old, I have like a friend of a friend of a friend who's got an empty room in Chicago, not in the best neighborhood. And it's just like it's a ticket to just do something else.
okay.
So I moved to Chicago. So I'm 39 years old. I've been in Chicago since I was about 21, 22 years old.
Awesome. So you kind of know how the city moves and grooves and everything. You've been
Yeah,
here long enough.
I consider the city built me to who I am today, and I have the city to thank for it. That's why I haven't moved or anything like that. And by the time I got here, I was telling you that like that long story because by the time I got here, I was exhausted of bouncing around. I was like, I need like a home base that I can just chill. So I looked at New York, I looked at Los Angeles like for fun at times, and I was just like, man, Chicago is so much better, in my personal opinion. So I'm in love with the city, and this is where my business is, and this is where I want to continue to grow.
Awesome. Awesome. So, okay, take me back to that Alaska. So what is that like in Alaska? Because they say it's 6 months of light, then 6 months of
Oh,
darkness.
that's
Is
why
that
I could
true?
not. That's why I could not deal with that. Once winter hit, I
Hmm.
was like, that was the ultimate test. People have no idea how good they have it actually in Chicago. That people are like, oh man, Chicago winters are brutal. Like, you don't know what brutal is until you try and live there. So picture like our coldest days. Picture that being for like 3 to 4 months and the sun never comes up. Like
Mm.
so and that's the kicker. People have no idea how much that affects you mentally when you just don't see like sunshine for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Now it will do like almost like a slight sunrise, but then it'll just go back down. So the light will be like maybe an hour or 30 minutes, if that at most, and that will just get to you over time. So I did a winter of that, and I told my brother, I was like, no way, I'm not doing this again next year. So I got out of there. Yeah.
So as a corporate chef, then how does he stay there? Because that has to be difficult for him as well. Because he's a creator, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, he's wild. He loves that. We different in aspect where he likes to like hunt and fish, and all the outdoorsy stuff. Now I love outdoorsy stuff too, but not to that level where it
hmm
is my world. So
mm.
he likes immense challenges and things like, and he likes to just be different and unique, and he just loves Alaska. So that's just kind of his thing. You need to be a particular person to be able to like kind of survive there and not like lose your mind. And he's the right person for that.
Yeah, I don't think that's something I would enjoy doing at all.
Yeah, culturally, it is so much different. Like this
Yeah.
the fashion is almost non-existent. And a funny thing that I realize is people have no idea how easy it is to date in like a major city as opposed to dating over there. And this is the craziest thing. Like I tell my friends this, and they still don't really believe the story. So I asked like a couple girls on dates there when I was living there. I was pretty young, but I wanted to like go on some dates. Like I would think I was like 19 or 20 years old.
Okay.
And I asked one girl and I couldn't believe the answer. So I was like, she's crazy. So I asked another girl and she said the same thing. And I'm like, this is nuts. And what they said was, they were like, okay, you want to, I was like, I asked them to dinner and they were like, are you gonna catch it? I'm like, what? Excuse me? Like, are you gonna catch the fish? Are you gonna kill the meat and then butcher it and then prepare for us? I'm like, no, we can just go to a restaurant. And they were just like, that's not really like a man. I want a provider. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I can pay for the meal. And that doesn't do it for them.
Mm-mm. They
They're
want you to do it old school.
yeah, yeah, that is like the men out there. They want like that old school stuff, the hunting, the fishing, the catch it, like butcher it, present it to them,
Yeah, and you like,
all that.
fuck no. I'm trying to
Yeah,
go out, hang
and
out,
I'm,
have a
and
good
I'm just
time.
like, I barely know you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. What do you mean? I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna butcher some meat for you and bring it back and cook it to you
Like
and put
I'm
on
gonna
this
spend
great
a
performance.
whole day like on something, and I might come up short, and it might not even happen. And then just for someone who it might not even work out with, and we might not even get along on the first time,
Right.
like I'm like, this is ludicrous. But I asked my brother, I'm like, did you do that for your wife? And he's like, yeah, man, I did that. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Nah, but remember, he's a chef. He know what that feels like to go out there and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
his
So
food.
so
So
so yeah, I couldn't do it. So it was difficult on a multitude of levels living there. So
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. By the way, I like the shirt that you got on. I like that. That's pretty fly. I like
Oh,
that
thanks.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, Scotch and soda. That's a
Okay.
favorite brand of mine. So
Dope. Dope. I like
yeah,
that. So when you got to Chicago and you started getting into the groove of the city,
yeah.
was Pilsen one of the first neighborhoods, or did you
Yeah,
finally
yeah.
just
I
nest there?
actually I lived in Pilsen when I first moved here, but this was a while ago, and I lived in a much rougher area than I do now. And Pilsen has changed a lot over the years, but when I lived there, I lived kind of just deeper into Pilsen, and it was not the greatest place. I just remember going to like it was like a Fair Play grocery store, and there was like an armed guard in front of the grocery store. That's how I knew that like this neighborhood was like that particular part of Pilsen was a little rough. So
Hmm.
that I just like those memories and stuff. But over time, as I got older, I lived in different pockets of the city, and then I came back to Pilsen maybe 7 years ago because a majority of the artists I work with, I'd say like a lot of the local ones, they have studios over here, just so it's out of convenience and it's out of affordability and like more square footage, and I like the vibe over here.
Compared to New York, what's the difference to you from Chicago and New York?
So I just think, in my personal opinion, because I also have a lot of clients I do business with from New York, but from my personal opinion on a living thing, I think cost of living, like it doesn't make sense to me.
Extremely different.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like you can earn about the same money. It's not like these things are paying anymore, like these jobs, they're paying like about the same. Now obviously it doesn't apply to me because I own my own business, but cost of living I think is insane. for me, I think it's really fast paced, which is cool. Chicago is fast paced too, but I think fast paced in kind of like in a negative way in some aspects,
Okay.
like that just was my personal opinion. And the people that I met there when I kind of was interacting, I didn't just get along with them as easily as I did when I like had like short interactions with people in Chicago. So I just felt like there was more openness, laid back. Less judgmentalness, like I think in Chicago, in my personal opinion. So yeah. And then when I compared it with LA, because I was thinking about Los Angeles too, I didn't like how everything was so spread apart.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my personal take on it.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I have a friend a couple friends that live out in LA, and they said, the cost of living is similar to New York for something small. You pay
Yeah.
just as much. He said, but he just likes it out there because he's around the type of people in the environments that he get a chance to be around. So he does enjoy the photography and the artistry that he gets to be a part of. He said you just have to make it worth it. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I think in any city you can make it work. You just kind of have to want it.
Hmm.
You just have to want it. And for my personal, like my mission over time, I realized, hey, Chicago, the art scene here, it exists, but there's not like a ton of competition to the point where it will be difficult for me to make a name. And once I saw that, I was like, this is the place. So I just saw so many openings here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So at any point in your life, were you ever into art yourself? Were you ever like drawing or stenciling?
Yeah, so I never that. It's always so basically when I moved here, I followed in the footsteps of my brother and I kind of cooked for a living. Uh,
Mm,
and I just did that just because I was following like kind of what my brother did. I'm like, oh, my brother likes that. Over time, I like kind of fell out of love with cooking. And then from there, I had sales jobs and I noticed that I was like really good at selling. And I noticed that I liked selling, but I was just always selling the wrong thing. I wasn't passionate about it. For example, I worked for one company and I was like selling like merchant processing software for businesses. And then I had a stint where I was working in nightclubs and I was like selling like bottle service. And actually through the nightclub experience, I met an artist and he was like, can you help sell my art? You're always selling me on these tables. And I was like, I don't know anything about that. He's like, well, think about it. There's good money in the art world and you might do well. And so I thought about that, and this is like 2014, 2015-ish. Thought about it, and then it started fascinating me, and I was like, well, I can't really work at these nightclubs forever, and
mm,
I was like these other sales jobs that it, it just it just didn't appeal to me to just stay in that world. I was like, I have to grow, I have to do something. I just had this yearning to do something and create something. I just didn't know what it was, and it just became the art through kind of just recognizing my surroundings. So I ended up selling a few pieces for this person, and it felt good. I was like, wow, I'm helping an artist, I'm making money, and someone gets a tangible item that they appreciate. So at that time, I was doing like a lot of the Bears players. They were coming in to buy like bottle service from
oh,
me and whatnot at the
okay.
nightclubs. This is like 2015. And I showed a couple of them some art pieces, and they were like, "That's dope. Yeah, let me buy that." And the commission structure is way more aggressive with art. Like we make 50%. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So and that's just like a natural staple when if you have a gallery. So I started off as a lower percentage when I first started, but it just grew. So the payouts like was more from everything else, and it just felt better selling. And I was like, well, if I can help one artist, what about a lot? Like a lot more. And then I was like, what happens if I can put it online? I had all these questions and I just kept researching stuff and I was just so curious. I just became obsessed. And that's why just one thing grew into another. And then it kind of went from there.
Dope.
So,
I like this, man. This is dope to hear. I like hearing this. I like
yeah.
hearing this. Hell yeah. So you're working in a bar industry, how should I say it? The hospitality industry, working
Yeah.
in the nightclubs, right? That was kind of the era where it was really, really fun. I'm not sure how it goes now because I'm not out there in the clubs and then trying to
Yeah,
enjoy
me
myself
neither.
now.
Like I
Yeah.
look at the stuff now, I was like, man, it was way better back in back in 2015, 20.
And before that, like that 2000 to 2015 was like really like that fun part of it. Actually, to me, 2010, 2012 or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's when it was really cool. You would see like all the basketball players and everybody out and around the city. So you were
Yeah.
able to network and be around those guys. Did you think that that was gonna be a thing, or did you know for a fact like I'm not gonna be here? I just know it. Like I know you was talking about it, but
Yeah, so I didn't know. I was kind of just going throughout life, but yeah, I actually recognized it when I tried to like date. So I would try and have relationships with women, and because I was working at a club, that it would just like it would always just be drama. And I was like, well, eventually I want to like have a healthy life outside of this. And I was like, I don't think this is gonna ever create a healthy life. I think this always might be drama or something because I'm literally have to, I'm encouraged to bring tons of girls to the club and I'm encouraged to like, just have people spend money and all that. So it just kind of created this recipe. So I just started recognizing, hey, I got to get out of this. I'm really like self-conscious and I don't ever want to come across rude like in any way with anything I say, but I just did not want to be that guy like in my 30s or early 40s still in the club, like working there. I was like, that's not me. I don't want to do that, you know? That could be for someone else that's cool. So when I was in my late 20s, I was like, man, I got to figure this out, you know?
yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. I was like, I want to have a healthy relationship,
Hmm.
I want to like build with somebody, and I want to grow my life in a better way. So once I started recognizing that, then I started recognizing I could take my skills and transfer them to someone else. And the skills were like selling, client relations, and kind of like hosting, like entertainment sort of thing. So I just realized that could be transferred somewhere else. And it was like either going to be in real estate, which I was not passionate about, or,
Hmm.
or it was going to be like in art. So yeah, because I don't have, I never even went to college. So, and obviously I wanted to make great money. So I'm like, I think it can be art. So that's kind of, I just hit the ball running. And the most important thing that people don't recognize that is just like so important is when you get into something like year one, year two, you have to know that you're going to fail tremendously and you might not make anything. People like we were living this instant gratification world where people just do something for maybe 6 months. Oh, it's not working out. I'm done. Like it doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
This morning, I watched this like small little podcast and I was so astounded. It said the guy who created Starbucks didn't make almost anything for the first 17 years, but now he's a billionaire.
For his first 17. I didn't know that.
I thought that was it was insane. It's because I believe he kept reinvesting his profits to open more locations. Like
Wow.
and he kept doing that. And then eventually, it's like you get investors, you get like private equity, and then you're just rolling in it. But he was so driven. Now, that is a super extreme example. For me, I just kept doing it until it worked. So probably year three, year four, I started seeing profit, and I started seeing potential. But yeah, year one, year two, my family was just like, "What are you doing?" My friends were like, "What are you doing?" And you have to just push all of that
They
aside.
tell you wasting your time. You can't make no
Yeah,
money
yeah,
doing that. It's not
yeah.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you almost have to be a little crazy because if you're gonna work on something like 20 to 30 hours a week, week after week for years and make almost nothing, everyone is gonna think you're an idiot, you know? But
Everyone.
but if you can have this kind of foresight where like, well, I know it's possible because I've seen this person do that, or I have a foundation, an idea, like you can just outwork all the negative beliefs. And then eventually that's what happened.
Yeah, you have to have that pace where, the universe, if you that's what you believe, then universe says, all right, we'll start turning things in your favor since this is what you want and you're doing it for your own self and your own goal and achievement. And
A
this will just
hundred,
be your journey to get to it.
100%.
17 years for the owner of Starbucks. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
not know that.
that's what I said. I saw that.
Are are you aware of the guy who invented the cleaning solution 409? It's
No.
called 409 because it took him 409 times before he got it right.
Wow. Yes, you see that, and he's probably rolling in it, like, and he deserves it because he just refused. He refused to give up, and fortune favors the bold, and fortune also like favors the people who are just relentless. And a funny thing that goes with the word relentless, I believe I checked 6 months ago. It should be like that, just for fun. I think if you type relentless.com it goes right to Amazon
Wow.
because Bezos just bought that URL for fun. So
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Even him, remember they used to ridicule him and laugh at him for having the office and and he said one day I'll own this office and probably the whole building,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy, but it's about it's also the goal that you have, but the journey that you create along the way, the learning experiences that you get from it, the trials, the tribulations, and the failure is what brings it along, man. A lot of people forget about that. You have to really that has to be something that you're dedicated to for yourself.
yeah, I think the greatest thing about entrepreneurism or just trying an idea and just pushing yourself is it forces you to become a different person because you can't be the person that you like previously were or your friends knew you as. Like you can still be a great person, you can still be fun, but you have to change so many things if you want it to like to really work. And
Hmm.
through that change, you can be proud of yourself. So
Absolutely, 100%. So for you being here for 20 years, talk to me. Are you an official Chicago sports team fan, or do you have your teams elsewhere?
So I'm not like a huge sports person,
Okay.
to be honest. Like I'll watch and all that. However, when I was taking care of like some of the Chicago Bears players in like 2015,
Hmm.
like a diehard Bears fan, you know. So once they got traded to other teams and all that stuff, like I stopped watching. But yeah, I'm like I'd say I'm like when I tell people how long I've been here, they're like, "Oh, you're a Chicagoan." I don't know if it counts because I wasn't born here, but I'm very like I have a lot of pride for the city.
Now,
So,
I think so for you, I would say you are because you came here, you made your bones here, and you've been successful since you've been here. So for a 20-year run, I'm sure if you walk around the city and go places, people can say they know you, they've seen you in the
oh,
Pilsen, they've seen you all around the
100%.
city. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
So you're a Chicagoan, you're a Chicago homeboy. You're a home slice.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So music. Talk to me about music. What type of music are you into?
So when I first got to Chicago, I kind of like embraced like the house scene. Like, I would go out and I'm a Chicago house, but I'm really an open book. And I think being an open book is like so important in my personal opinion. It like reflects that you're open to new experiences and new things. And when I say open book, it means I love hip hop, I love house, all like go watch live piano, like jazz, all that stuff. I'm super open. Like right now, I listen just to a lot of hip hop because this is like the vibe that I'm in, or I'm at the gym and whatnot.
Hmm.
And then kind of like how things go with the art world, which I'm trying to say this. I support a lot of artists that are on the come up with my business, so that fascinates me in music as well. People who are like artists that are known, but they're not like millions of views known. Then maybe they have like 200,000 80,000 followers on Instagram, something
That's
like
still good. That's
yeah. So
great.
I'm like really fascinated in that, and I'm really fascinated on like just getting behind those people, just like going to their show, sharing their content and stuff like that. Like, because I'm just a huge supporter, like the underdogs that are making strides and working really hard.
Okay. All right. So what are some artists that you're listening to right now?
So I listened to this one guy named Darcy. Uh,
Hmm.
Now that is a cross between hip hop and house and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be in Chicago sometime in August. And then I listened to the big names too. Like I saw that Yeet just dropped a track. So I like Yeet. A lot of people don't like this guy. I
Okay.
love Yeet. So he just dropped a new track not that long ago. Central C, these are bigger names. Central C and Drake, they just dropped a track. So
Okay.
I've had that track on repeat. Who else? As far as like artists that are on the come up that are like kind of experimental and different, there's a guy, I think his name is Two Hollis. So
Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of his stuff as well. I
I
think he's
haven't heard of him. I haven't heard of him. You just told me
yeah.
about him.
So and I found him like through people were like putting his stuff up on the reels and like TikToks, and I'm like, what is that sound? That sounds crazy. So yeah. I think a lot of people when they listen to music, they characterize it like, oh, is this like my favorite artist? Because if it's not like my favorite artist, then I don't like it. Like so when I listen to music, I'm open to the experience, meaning if they're trying some much different vibes, they're crossing all these different like things where it's
Hmm.
like, oh, this is like electro and house and hip hop mixed. I'm like open to new sounds.
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
think people need to recognize that like a lot of people like Kanye, especially the older Kanye, because he was so experimental. You know, he created sounds that a lot of people just hadn't heard before. And when I
Yeah.
see that in like the up and coming people, it just
Yeah, he really stepped out of just doing the hip hop music and turned it into like he was landscaping, like he was just trying to galvanize or search for his own actual sound and become a true artist. That's how I saw it. I was like, oh, he wants to be an artist. He just wants to be well-rounded. That's all it is, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And
for
once he
sure.
started doing that, you could see that he was reaching out to different people and different groups of people to make his music work and the experimentation with his music that he was doing as well. So it's like, okay, I see what he's doing. I see what he's
Yeah,
doing. You gotta let a guy like that grow, man. You can't pigeonhole him into a box and say that this is the only thing that you're supposed to do because he's a natural artist, so he's just gonna branch out and do it anyway.
for sure. And I think there's a good lesson in watching someone like him and applying it to like your own business and the own like way that you live. For me, what I mean by that is so I have a gallery and it's located downtown off Michigan Avenue. But when people see that, they're like, okay, it's just this, you know. But we also do murals. We do a lot of other stuff outside there. We sell a lot online, and so the gallery is kind of like a backup. And then as the business grows, I would love to do a clothing line with artists. I would love to start like a podcast with artists. Actually, our first episode we're filming on Tuesday.
Awesome, awesome.
So I'm mentioning this because like just your particular angle of what you're doing, it doesn't need to just be that. Like you don't need to follow the footsteps and be like, well, this business can only be this. I think you can branch off and just do a lot of different things. You should never like box yourself in. And people, you know, like Kanye and other creators where they have parallel interests, you know, things that are still within the art realm that interest them. I think people should just kind of strive to just do everything they can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Awesome. I love to hear it. I love hearing. What was your interest? Excuse me. What was your interest in wanting to do a podcast? Was it just
So I started just to hop on a couple episodes of Friends podcasts,
okay?
and then people would say like, hey, like I really like that episode. That was dope, you know? And it wouldn't just be my friends. It would be like a couple people would reach out to me that I wouldn't even know. And I was like, maybe there's something here. So and I thought to myself, like I story tell a lot on my website, meaning I'll write articles about artists. I'm like, what happens if I kind of met with them, talked about their practice, and kind of just did stuff that's educational. So I just think, and also like when I think of it, I think of like I don't really know of a big name artist podcast. When I think of an artist podcast, I think of like No Jumper, but that's like hip hop, you know. I'm like I don't really know one that focuses on like you know people who like paint, people who do street art, people who do murals. There's a ton of little ones,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think that space is still pretty small. So I'm very interested in like, you know, being part of it in the long run. And
Yeah.
just like when I approach that, I already know how it's gonna go, meaning it will be probably real slow in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll break free. There's this famous podcaster. I think his podcast is Modern Wisdom. I remember he was like, I didn't blow up until it was past my 300 episode. So
Wow.
it's just a testament for when his thing blew up,
Wow.
you know. And now he sits with like David Goggins and all these like huge names, you know. But he just kept doing it and doing it. So that's another testament to where like you just have to put in the work in just different areas, you know,
Yeah.
if you really want to take off.
And
So
similarly to what you're doing, that's kind of what I want to capture as well, like artists from like the music world and from the actual art world, the painting, the sculpting, the wood carving and everything. I want to have
yeah,
those artists on there so and allow them to tell their story and tell them like you have to be grounded and you have to want to do this thing over and over again. And it takes a lot of work and time and effort and energy to sit there and do it. You can't just wake up, like you said, and do it in 6 months and think that you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to be famous. The
yeah,
real work is in the journey, and it's not just gonna happen right away. You were saying the brother did 300 episodes. I'm up to like 180, 200 episodes. I took
yeah,
5 or 6 months off just so I could just sit back and just chill for a second because I hadn't been, I needed some time off. So now for me, going back, I always say I don't really care about how many episodes I do. It's about the message that I leave and the art that I create along the way.
yeah, for sure. Just think of think of the people that you don't know who are listening, like who you could have just affected their day in a positive way. And even if it's like one or two or three, I still think like all the effort is worth it because impacting lives is like that's how you just leave a greater footprint like in the world and how you give back. So
That's what I want. That's what I want to do and create.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So being a gallery owner,
Yeah.
how long have you been a gallery owner?
So we moved into the space off Michigan Avenue at the end of 2022.
Okay.
That became possible after the pandemic because real estate prices kind of changed for renting, like downtown on the strip. If that pandemic never happened, it probably would not be a financial reality. So yeah, and the pandemic, it sounds really like grim of me to say this, but I was hoping it would last for a long time because it was so good for my business.
Mm.
Yeah, it was tremendous. So the things didn't really start to take shape with my business, Artist Replete, until like the pandemic hit
Wow.
because there's a lot of online shopping, and at that time I was just focused on selling artwork online. I had spent maybe like from 20 set like probably 3 years just working on my website and social media and stuff like that. And then the pandemic hits, and then suddenly I kind of get a surge of orders because people are, and I look back and I'm like, why did this happen? And it's because people were in their place and they're getting maybe government checks and they started just kind of redecorating. They had interest in like making their home like more fascinating because they were spending more time in it, and a lot of people just did it through art. So yeah, the extra money I made towards that as the pandemic kind of subsided, I was like, I think I have enough to start looking at places. And the water tower, that's where our gallery is the water tower place reached out and they're like, hey, we had we have the art of Dr. Seuss. They basically went out of business. We have a space. We would like to have a negotiation about you renting it from us. They reached out to me because they saw all the action on social media,
Hmm.
and then I just went with a long negotiation, and then eventually got a business partner, and then we moved up in there, and it made it happen.
That's pretty dope, man. And I understand what you're saying about that was like the perfect time for you and you wanted it to last longer. But for me, it sucked. It sucked in the hotel industry.
Yo, yeah, in that
It was
industry,
killing us.
it was yeah, yeah. So that's why I always like say like this is a grim outlook because I know it was the opposite for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
me, it was tremendous, but for a lot of other people, it was like it was terrible. It was like a time of suffering.
Yeah.
So
But I also created the podcast in the midst of that, and I started out doing like 50 to 60 episodes a year or something like that. And then it's kind of like my grind kind of like dissipated because I had other things going on now. I just got to pick it back up. But I understand everyone's at home during that time. So it's easy. It's a lot easier for you instead of move around the city, go here, go here, go here. Everybody jumps on a Zoom call or a Teams call and they just
yeah,
talk to you or get online, Instagram, social media, whatever it was. And they could just reach out to you and make anything happen for you or with you.
for sure. And I think the pandemic changed how we operate now. I think people are maybe a little less in the office. They're realizing a lot of work can be done elsewhere. I think it made the Zoom company take off, but I
Absolutely. Absolutely.
a lot of other things just like came to light. So yeah, but going back to the story, the pandemic helped us transfer to brick and mortar, and that was a learning curve once I went to brick and mortar. But that plus our online has really just kind of made us a bigger company, and then we're looking to just continue to grow from there.
So you are enjoying having the brick and mortar then.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was just the next evolution of the business, and it also changed like how I had to operate. I had to just be much more fierce because now I have like way more overhead, and I had to learn how to be like almost like a boss, where I was just bossing myself around, and then I had like you know
A
uh,
team now.
yeah, there's a team now, and the people, and I just had to teach myself how to be a leader, and I'm still learning to this day. And yeah, so it's been a great experience, and it just I think through having your back against the wall and then also wanting great things in life, I think it'll just be the greatest teacher for you.
All
So
right. Let's go back to this music. You said house music.
yeah.
How often do you get a chance to step out and go to an event?
Man, so these days, like I'm not really out in these streets that much, to be honest. I had a stint, probably like from 2014 to like maybe 2018 when I was out like 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
So I really got that out of my system. And I'd say maybe like once a month I'll step out now, but it would like I'll step out and like enjoy music now, but it'll be like to a concert or something like that. The last concert I went to was I think Aragon, and I saw Central C, and that was like a few months ago. So,
Okay.
but as far as house, I don't know. I don't step out too much for that. I
Okay.
remember back in the day, I would go to like Spy Bar, like that.
Oh, spy bar. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like
Yeah.
a place for deep house. So
Yeah, yeah, there it is. There it is, Deep House and everything. Yeah, my buddy Erica, she had put me onto House at the Shed or something like that. Or Jazzing at the Shed. She had put me onto that. And then there's like a couple events around the city that you can always go to for some house music. And it's a really good time. It's a really good time. It's a nice festival. I think it's coming up in August, real soon. So that's also a good time. You can walk through there, man. It's a really beautiful time. The people are just beautiful. Everyone's just vibing, having a good time. The energy is awesome. It's magnificent to be there. So if you ever get a chance to check that out, man, I think you will like it. You'll like, yo, that was a really good experience. I gotta do that again. So
for
it's
sure,
it's a really good time.
definitely I'll look into it. There is also something I've been seeing online that fascinates me. I believe it's called like press play or something like that. And they're doing like takeovers at coffee shops.
Wow. Okay.
And some of the parties are like 1,000 people strong, and they'll start at like 11 a.m. And I don't think there's any drinking. So I personally don't drink. We could talk about that on like a little bit later. But people are just drinking coffee and they're just going like getting down, and it starts at like 11 a.m. and they're having like huge ones, and they'll be like food and there'll be coffee. So these things I've seen, like it's like a unique way to do something, and they really interest me a lot. And to be like fully transparent with you, I've seen the women that goes to these things, and I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm. They be
these
there.
these aren't these like club rats or these girls with caked up makeup. These are women who like just finished.
Business women, all
Yeah,
that.
they just finished a yoga class and they threw on an outfit, and now they're there, like then that's my vibe. So I'm just like this looks cool.
You got
So
to send me the info for that because
yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
like. That's what I like,
yeah,
man.
yeah, and they've been taken off. I think they have one at this place called Recess I believe it's in West Loop, and I think they're expecting like 800 people on this thing.
Wow.
So like they've really like taken this concept off. So
You got to put me on that one, man. You got my
yeah,
man. You have to put me on. That's the type of stuff I like. A really good
yeah,
chill
yeah.
vibe, man.
I just think it's just amazing because at some point this person like I'm gonna try and do this thing at like 11 or 10 a.m. and see what can happen. And over time, it just took off. But to make that initial thing where you're just trying something that's way different, I just like I got nothing but applause for that. So
That's dope. Whoever thought of that, whoever had the ingenuity to do that, man. That's something that's totally different. I never thought someone would put that together and start at
yeah.
11 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, and man, you'd be surprised. People will go to bed early the night before so they can like just have an amazing time then. So
Wow.
it's wild, yeah.
Wow. So in working with Sofitel and Swiss Hotel, have you enjoyed those relationships and those business?
Oh yeah, yeah, they're unbelievable. Like I've done like and my relationship with Sofitel is just it's just grown so much over the years, and they've really looked to us for not just like the artwork, but marketing. Like I've done a lot of like Instagram collabs with both my personal and business accounts with Sofitel. And that's the thing I think why that business is really loyal to us and has worked with us for years and years. I think whatever you do, whatever sort of business is in, you need to recognize like there are other options, and you need to just like always be the best option. And when I say that, I'm saying they could work with a different gallery, a different group, and get some artwork maybe, but there's no way that they're going to be able to get that artwork, also get the video content, also get like the ad spend that we're willing to do, the article we're willing to write, the email blast that we're willing to do, like new mural, check out the restaurant, check out the hotel,
All in one,
like all in one, and that's how I deliver. Like
one-stop shop.
every time. So I'll try and work, with the best artists on the project, like and just deliver like the best that we can, on everything. And yeah, they've been I think we just did like I think it's like mural number 7 on the front of that building. That we did, and we do it annually. We'll do it every year for them. So
Dope, dope, dope.
yeah.
Without putting you, well, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who are
Yeah.
your favorite artists to work with?
Yeah, for sure. So right now, there's an absolutely incredible artist that we work with, and he's just blown up on social. And I'm not interested in just like his popularity, but he's such a nice guy and easy to work with. And he's a great example of someone can be tremendously talented, like successful, and just be very humble and a good person. And that's the type of people I love to work with. So the artist that I'm just really amazed about that is on our team now. His name is Gonzalo Pizarro,
Okay,
and he
okay.
took um he took the idea of an OSB board, which is like a board that has wood chips, and he creates figures on them. And if you see it, like you'll just be blown away. When I saw it, I was blown away. He has posted maybe I think 3 or 4 videos that have gotten in the realm of like 5 to like 17 million views.
Wow,
So
wow.
he's made it so we'll post something on the site like for sale, and like literally 5 minutes it's gone. So
Okay,
we are planning to do his solo show, and we're instead of doing it in Chicago, he lives in Vail, Colorado. We're actually gonna do it in Vail, Colorado. So
okay,
like and then that's like a challenge to me, and then also just to show him love as well, that we want like to work with him because he gets every gallery is hitting him up, but we're locked in with him right now. So yeah, and any leftover work from that show we'll show at our gallery in Chicago.
okay.
So
Because that's
yeah.
what it seems like it is. Like you're bringing them back home to say, "Hey, welcome back home. This is the
Yeah.
support, and we want to make sure the community knows more about you, and you're celebrated while you're here."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then for local people, our next exhibition is going to be with Roger J. Carter. He's from Bronzeville. He makes figure like portraits out of toy soldiers. So think of the image of James Baldwin or
I've seen him. Oh
yeah,
man, that shit is crazy. And then they zoom in on. Yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
keep talking. But that got
yeah,
me excited right there.
exactly.
That's
So
that's fucking
so
dope.
Yeah, so I met Roger in the pandemic, and he just had like his artwork in a coffee shop, and almost no one knew of him. And for me, I was like, I need to put this guy out there. Like this guy is amazingly talented, and he was just really humble and nice, and he was just doing art for the love of it,
Hmm.
and he didn't really care too much about blowing up, but now he's really happy with everything. So yeah, I've been working with him I think since about 2021, and I wrote like the first article about him, and then other huge media like the New York Times has written about him since then and all that. But he needed like basically the first domino to like to move it, and
Gotcha.
I was that person, and we're gonna do his solo show for him, and that will be in about a month from now. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and not only just toy soldiers, he'll do stuff with Legos, he'll do stuff with chess pieces, he'll do stuff with a lot of different mediums.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a great artist. He's a Chicagoan through and through, and just a great creator. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Favorite places to eat around the city? Do you have any?
Man, um, so when I first moved here and spent maybe the first 5 years, I was really into these like fancy fine dining sort of spots. But like I'm more so on like I'd say in between nice and just casual. So I really like Doc B's. Like that's like
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've ever been into Doc B's. So that's kind of like a small chain in Chicago. Food is just phenomenal. There's one right near my gallery. That's why I mentioned that. Out of a nicer restaurant, like a one Michelin that I went to not too long ago, I went to Boca. Boca is tremendous, you know. Otherwise, I like to hang out in the West Loop and just eat at the different places over there.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Parlor Pizza is good, and then Fioretta is good, like as well. Just stuff like that.
I just
So
like cool shit, man. It don't have to be Michelin star for me. Like
yeah,
I'm not trying to impress myself or
yeah.
be around a group of people that to look
And to be
good.
honest, in Pilsen, there'll be a tamale lady, and it'll be $2 for a tamale, and
And
I'll
the
take
best tamales ever.
and I'll take that home and I'm just like, damn, this slaps, you know?
Of
Like
course.
like it's amazing, you
Of
know?
course.
I'm just really about like just taking in what Chicago has to offer and all that. And I'll spend some time once in a while in Chinatown and pop into a restaurant over there, you know? So I'm just like the city has so much to offer and I always have to remind myself how lucky I am to be here, you know?
That's what I have to do more of is get more ingratiated into Chinatown because I don't really visit over there
Yeah,
at all.
there's so many places. It's amazing. And a really like funny. It's like kind of a tourist attraction, but it's like hilarious and it's fun. It's called Rotary Sushi, and
Okay.
it's a sushi spot, and it's just everything is on a conveyor belt, you know, and you
Mm.
just take which one you want. And it's like I took my mom there not that long ago, and she just loved it. She thought it was so like hilarious. It was like it's interactive. So yeah,
I like that. I like that concept. That's a
yeah,
dope concept too.
yeah. So yeah,
All right,
man.
so take me back. Take me back. All right. You're not a drinker of alcohol.
Yeah. So I gave up June 18th, this past June 18th was 4 years for me. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so it was a couple things that made me stop. One was I really want to take my business serious and I didn't want to be hung over anymore. I didn't want to just make any mistakes socially anymore. I didn't want to like open the door for like mistakes in relationships and things like that. I can't tell you how many people like break up or go through a divorce or go through like an embarrassing night for having like maybe one too many and stuff like that. And I just, as I became more serious with business and in my life, I just like completely stopped. And for me personally, it was like the greatest decision. There was never a time where I was like, oh, I have a problem, you know? It was more like, I think I could be better.
Mm-hmm.
And I started it was like a math thing. I like think about how many like days in a year I'm hungover,
Ooh.
like how many days that I lost or half the day, and I did almost like a math like thing where I'm like this many days are gone. I could have done work then. I could have went to the gym then. You know, I could have did read then. I could have saved money then and not spent that much, on drinks. And I just did all the math and I was like, what's the pros and cons? Why do I need this? And will my life be better without it? And for me personally, I was like, way better without it. And
Cut it out.
that's just my personal thing. It's really, really hard for a lot of people to be on that vibe because it is such a social norm. But I will literally go to an event, go to like an outing, even go to a club, and I will like have no problem drinking soda water, or
Mm-hmm.
soda with a little Red Bull or soda and some cranberry juice, soda, lemon, and lime. I have no problem at all
Mm-hmm.
because I think people also use that as like the confidence booster. And the confidence is within yourself. You don't need any of that. You can close
There you go. There
you
you
can
go.
you can close on meeting someone like exciting without that. You can be your authentic self. You don't need to like have some watered down version of yourself, in my personal opinion. So I think for me it was just like a game changer and I'm happy I did it. And I didn't make the decision where I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take a break. I made a decision was like, I'm done. And that's it. And
Yeah.
I'm done for life. So
And
yeah.
the other thing about it is some people not just use it for a confidence boost, but they're using it to escape because it is a depressant.
Exactly. So when I go through stuff in life, I never reach for that. Like if I go through a really tough time or a hardship, I never reach for that. I will go for a run. I will double down in the gym. I will run in the morning and hit the gym at night, and that can give you a much better result, a much better effect, and it can help ease your mind. So yeah, and that will just be an advantage. And throughout my years dating, as I became just kind of like sober, I just saw like what I could fall into. I'd see the girl and I'd see her just have a night out with friends and come over. It's like super sloppy, and I'm just like, man, this was me. I don't. This is not me no more, And I'm never here to judge nobody, but I'm just like, it's just eye opening. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because I heard someone talking to me about it. He's like, man, at one point he had gotten to the point where it was like it was his mind was telling him you're nothing without the liquor. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, you didn't need it that bad, did you? He's like, I was doing it all the time. I was doing it all the time. He said he got up to it got to the point where he was like what was the rapper's name? I think it was Cameron. He said I was waking up with a bottle and drinking liquor, to start my day and everything. I was like, yeah, that was a tremendous battle and fight that you had, man. But glad to see you out and being more motivated and more focused, man. I commend you
Yeah,
for cutting it out and everything because as much as people love it, it's still a drug
it is. Yeah, it is for
and it's
sure.
legal.
Yeah. Not only is it legal, it is marketed heavily as cool, the in thing. Buy this bottle, you get a sparkler, this is a mixologist, he makes art and the art will get you drunk. It's all cool stuff. It's like marketed by cool, but at the end of the day, it's like an unnecessary expense and will open the door to some problems,
Yeah, a lot of problems.
yeah, yeah, and there's just like people think they can be like one and done, and a lot of times it's never one and done. So for me, I don't even have one. I'm just like I'm over it.
Yeah. I
So
congratulate you on that, man. I think that's an awesome thing to do, and it shows that you're focused. You streamline and you got your tunnel vision, and you're going after what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and that is more of a distraction and a crutch than something that helps you get to where you're going.
yeah, for sure. Over the past 4 years since I've given it up, I've just noticed so many changes in my body, in my mind, and the relationship I have with myself, the relationship I have with my family, and the relationship I have, with other people. And I have no problem like being out with people and someone's meeting me for the first time. We're all sitting down. They're like, "You don't drink?" Like, did something happen? Like, there was there an issue? And I have no problem just be like, "No, it's just not for me anymore. It doesn't serve me."
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
That's just kind of the vibe.
absolutely. All right, Matthew Moore, this has been awesome. Is there any questions that you would like to ask me before we get out of here?
What made you start this podcast? And also the name behind it. Can you explain the name behind it? What does that mean?
All right. So the reason why I did it is because me and a member of my group, the group Critical Mass, we were sitting around for years, 10 years ago, talking about doing this in the studio at my buddy's house. And we was like, man, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. But it never happened because at one point we all got so busy doing solo projects and being involved in our own music and being involved in working that our lives just kind of just went their own way. We had to grow apart and just to grow up. So we supposed to do it then and we didn't. So during the pandemic, I said, man, you know what? The idea we have for a podcast, I think I'll just do it. And they said, man, go after it. Just go ahead and do it, and we'll just jump on when you need us to jump on. And I said, all right, cool. I'll just go ahead and do it then. And I did it. And I started out, like I said, with like 50 to 60 guests a year or whatever, and then it kind of like sort of dwindled down. But I enjoyed it, and hearing everybody's story was one of the best things that I got a chance to hear because you hear the stories of their triumph and their journey, and it was one of the most pleasing things to always know that you have to continue to keep going no matter what it is. And you're gonna have trials, errors, you're gonna have failures, but you have to keep going. So that's the reason why I did it. Then the name that I created for it was from a song that we did called "Folk Prophets." So it's people think everything is like a double entendre, it's just a play on words. You think it's about one thing, but it's about an amalgamation of things. People do things for money, but is it really for the money or is it for fame? Like, what is it that you're actually doing something for?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all it was. It was just a song that we did about what I saw in some of the things that I in my community, uh, as far as people using intelligence to not just make money, but to handicap others and everything like that. So that was just where the name came from.
I love it. Nice. And now when you
Yeah.
say critical mass, is that large group of people like going on like biking? Like
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
so what's
Critical
critical mass?
Critical Mass with the K. CRITIKAL
Okay.
Mass Entertainment. So we are a rap group. There's four of us, three of us. Two of them are the producers, and one of the producers does rap, and I do the rapping as well.
Oh, okay.
And
Got
they
it. Got
make the beats and engineering, and sometimes I'll just produce or just let them know how to set up some songs. I don't actually get on and make the beats and everything. I'll just
got it.
produce.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't mean to confuse. I just wanted to,
No,
like
no, because it happens from time to time. People will go online, they'll go on iTunes or SoundCloud, and they'll go looking for our music, and it'll be a different group of guys. It'll be like a rock band. I was like, no, that's the wrong people. Let me send you, let me share it with you so you get the right
yeah,
guy, the
yeah.
right guys. Yeah. So I've been rocking and rolling with them. since 2005 or something like that. I think 2006 or something. I'm not sure, but been a long time. And I love it. Just have to get back into doing more of the music, and get off my training wheels and get back into riding my bike, you know.
For sure. Love it, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and it's been an amazing experience talking to you.
Matt, I appreciate your time as well. And by the way, not only is my name O, but my name is Matthew as well, and that's a fact.
Yeah, yeah. It's a biblical name.
Absolutely.
We are the chosen ones.
Yes, a gift from God, brother, all the way through and through.
Yeah.
Matthew Moore, thank you for being on my podcast. And remember, as always, remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in the driver's seat if it's taken. Matt, God bless you. Have a good day. I appreciate you.
Cheers.
Cheers.